right, and we are back for the final match of Charities of the Fall. Again, we once again have a Wraith from Tremor, this time against Cynic's Survivor team. Really exciting stuff, to say the least. Looks like we're going to be at the meat tree here, getting a clean break on this pallet. As of right now, only Corrupt Intervention is a known perk to these survivors. Other than that, though, we'll have to wait and see what else the Wraith is going to bring. As we see the Quentin revolt the pallet into the Wraith. No blood favor this time round, but we are going to see a bamboozle, which Quentin calls out correctly and pre-drops the shack pallet as Wraith is once again in hot pursuit. Quentin going to go for the vault, this time going for the pallet once again. Quentin doing a fantastic job managing the Wraith through and through. We'll have to wait and see if the Quentin is able to keep this up, as Wraith will revolt, re-blocking that window. No pallets in sight. Quentin going to the comm corner and will go down, ending Corrupt Intervention. This here will be the first hook of a potential 12 for the Wraith Boo of Tremor. So really good showing so far as what other perks. Still so far no sign of any other perks outside of Corrupt Intervention and the Bamboozle. We do see a survivor sprinting over to the Unhook. Looks like that is in fact an ace trying to do so, but they are able to get to that pallet in time. No sign of a survivor on that gen. And looks like the ace is going to continue at this pallet. Wraith, though, not going to be able to get it in time, as they are going to have to break the pallet in order to pursue chase. And I do see, chat, a little bit of disappointment, as well as I wishing that there was, in fact, a Death Slinger instead of another Wraith, as Wraith definitely getting a thorough testing today. In CoTF CC style community or charity tournament, as Ace goes down underneath the pallet. The question is there a survivor nearby? Do not hear the pitter patter of feet, so no survivor here for the pallet stun, saving the Ace, as they'll be the second hook here today. But we'll definitely be removing, I think that's the biggest thing that we have already discussed on the back end, is that we'll be moving Wraith from the base pool for both our charity events going forward, as well as CoTF CC, as we'll be looking to do EU and NA in September. That being said, Jake now in chase, and looks like they will make it to the meat tree window, but with no pallet in sight, Jake is going to take a hit here and make their way towards the main building. Wraith, though, looks like they're debating whether or not they're going to commit, and now they are going to do so, now that they are cloaked up. And this will be a bamboozle on the window of Firecracker, trying to blind the Wraith, but not able to get there in time. There is a pallet coming up, and Wraith trying to get in front for the body block, but not able to do so. Will instead fake out. There's the vault and the down. Really good mind game there by Tremor's Boo, the Wraith. And this will be their third fresh hook. So looks like the killer not going for any scourge hooks. There's no pop so far, no sloppy butcher, no nothing. So it's starting to seem like more and more a end game package, as we do see a quick kick here of 2.5% plus 0.3% per second thereafter. Wraith, though, convinced that the survivor is still nearby, going to be looking around, trying to identify where they might have gone, as the second gen is now completed. That being said, though, we do see the Atom, and I believe there's two pallets back to back here, so a strong position for the survivor to be in. No vault into the Wraith, though. Not going to work out this time around, as we do see what looks to be a deliverance from the Jake and an insta-break from the Wraith here on this pallet. Adam's still in chase, though, going up to the tractor here, the harvester, and vaults the opposite way. Wraith, not realizing, trying to go for the mind game, will end up dropping chase. Instead, maybe trying to find the Jake, as we do see them working on this gen here, but instead find an ace. Looks like they will not go for ace, instead now going for the Jake, maybe going for the tunnel out here, as they have already been put on hook once, but a pallet will get in the way of the Wraith's chase here. But there's not much in regards to this tile here. or resources in the nearby area, so Wraith will be able to pursue and potentially get the down quite quickly. Though I hear the pitter-patter feet, that might be a body block incoming from the Ace, but not in time, as the Jake will in fact go down. Ace about to take a hit as well. And what sounds like a missed skill check off in the distance, that very possibly could be a 10% regression off a gen. Not an insignificant amount of time lost, as Jake will be one hook away from being sent back to campfire via the entity. However, Survivors one gen away from powering the exit and potentially getting some escapes. Adam, though, caught out here, potentially looking at that dull totem. Survivors might be sensing something and maybe cleansing the dulls before they complete this last gen. Wraith going for the mind games here, but Adam able to see through the hay bales. Adam taking the hit. 3 survivors currently injured. Wraith in a good spot for the hit and run tactic, even if they are not using a sloppy butcher. That being said, last gen completed. A haste status effect now shown that there is in fact a no-ed, friends, though Survivors might not be aware of it because of the grab out of the locker. That is actually really interesting. And something that the Survivors will be aware of is that the Wraith does in fact have a no way out. And that last hook was the 4th stack of it too, for a full minute's worth of time before these Survivors can attempt to escape via the exit gates. That is huge to say the least, especially with Noed in hand as well. And I still don't think these Survivors are aware of it. Wraith looking around for the Survivor on the gen or the exit gate. I'm wondering why they aren't guarding the hook though. They want a fresh here, and this is Ultra going for the pallet, but getting the swing. That haste status effect coming in just in the nick of time, and looks like they will get the pickup. Sounded like there might have been footsteps, and Wraith sensing it too. Will go for the swing out, but will get the hook here on Ultra. That'll be 2nd hook here for Ultra. 6 hooks in total. And we do see scratch marks going up to the totem, but it's not going to be enough time. And sure enough, we hear footsteps going away. That there is the Ace, who is healthy, but no vault there, Ace, my friend, as that is bamboozled. And Ace, I think, going to be going down. We do see the BT incoming from the Quinton. Smart play there. No way out has expired, though, meaning that the Survivors can now attempt an escape via the exit gates. However, Ace in a bad position, and that will be the down. Really well played there by the Survivor and Killer alike. This here will appear to be another hook. I was wondering if the Survivor set up for a Sabo play potentially, as they're right behind that hook, but does not appear to be the case. 7 hooks in, 8 if they do secure the kill. Honestly, a really good showing for the Wraith, to say the least. Now, I'm going to sit here and say this now. Would love to see Cynic play a Deathslinger on this map, but we'll have to wait and see, as we do see a 3-man out. 8 hooks for the Wraith, 5 gens completed for the Survivors. This does mean Cynic is going to need to get a 4K, or not 4K, needs to get 9 hooks at 5 gens completed in order to secure victory. All right, and we are back for the final trial of this series and charity tournament. And we are going to be seeing V1 piloting the Wraith for a final time, this time against Tremor's Survivor team. And they are going to need to get a 9 hook. Ooh, Wraith with a very cheeky fake, but Zarina with what looked to be a sprint burst, getting some good distance here. A bamboozle coming into play in order to block that, but another pallet very close by. Zarina throwing it though, and this time it's going to get broken. Zarina going to the next one. Wraith trying to body block them out, will successfully do so. Bamboozle might still be up though, and it is, but they do not get the hit. Wraith in a rough position here, trying to get this first down. That being said, they're going to get a 9 hook at 5 gens in order to secure, or 5 gens or less in order to secure victory. 8 in order to tie. And as far as ties are concerned for the finals, I mean, at that point, you just split the first and second prize pools, and that is that, which may not sell the realm possibility, I do suppose. That being said, Bamboozle coming into play, and Zarina, I think, going to be going down here unless there is a surprise for the Wraith. There is not, and Corrupt Intervention will end. So far, the only two perks that we know of are Bamboozle and Corrupt. The other two still a little bit of a unknown. That being said, we are going to get a hook here, and that there is a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, regressing the most progressed gen by 25%. Wraith see another survivor making their way over towards main. That there is a Nancy. They will get the break at the pallet. Do you want to point out how much stronger Wraith is now that they do not suffer from a light burn, which was just reminded of me by that Nancy being there with that flashlight in hand. Just such a small difference makes a world of change for the Wraith. That being said, they are now back in chase with the Nancy. And I want to say this pallet might be gone. On top of which, though there's the vault here, they will take a hit at nonetheless. No Sloppy Butcher, and there's the Deadlock, which will block the most progressed gen with the NC blockers. That being said, Wraith nearby going to be camping this hook here, trying to block out the ace. Will take the hit. This will be a 1-for-1 exchange, and that there will be the down and potentially second hook here for the ace. However, they're instead going to go for the tunnel out on the Zarina. Zarina going to be just sitting here in this pallet. Another fake from the Wraith. These Wraiths, I will say, throughout the entire day have been doing a fantastic job of managing their cloaks and uncloaks. Nia, though, getting caught out here and will take the hit. 4 survivors currently injured. This is a perfect opportunity for the Wraith to pick up. The survivors can come in for the unhook, on top of which all the progression on that pickup is now reset to 0. Wraith in a very powerful spot here. 2 hooks in out of 9 needed in order to emerge victorious here for their team Cynic. A fake out though for the Nia. This will be the 3rd hook, leaving just the Zarina and the Nancy up and available for the unhook. There it is. 3 still injured, however, and looks like the Wraith will be out and about, taking a look at where the gens are. Keep in mind, multiple Scourge Hook Pain Resonances have been hitting gens. We only have 1 token left. Only 1 more gen regression left for the Wraith here. And these gens pretty well progressed as well. And looks like they're going to be going out, seeing where these survivors might be healing. Zarina now healed up. Not what the Wraith wants to see, to say the least. But Crow's coming back here in this tile with no pallet, no nothing. Bamboozle coming in, going to block that window, on top of which Ace doubling back unless there's a head-on in play. I think the Ace will go down. No head-on and the pick to boot on the Ace. This, I believe, being second hook for them, meaning that I believe 2 survivors now on death hook. Both the Nia and the Ace here. A really good spot for the Wraith to be in, to say the least. 3 survivors still injured, including Ace on the hook. Zarina, only one able to come in for the unhook safely, and we found more scratch marks and blood. I imagine this being the Nancy, and sure enough, there she is over at the main building. But Wraith, sensing someone going back to the hook, will drop chase and go for the tunnel out instead. Keep in mind, I think Nancy is, in fact, the survivor who has yet to be hooked, but looks like Wraith gonna body block the window, but messing up just a little bit. Of course, we have the Bamboozle for what it's worth, but the LT wall incoming. Is there an off the... Ooh. I'll be honest, if I was the Wraith right there, I would be just mildly concerned, as that was a very, very tight window. Now he sees Zarina trying to go for the body block, will successfully get it. 4 survivors injured once again, and looks like they will be continuing on the Ace here to the next LT wall. Still surprised that hit did not connect earlier. We see Zarina taking the body block, or at least trying to take attention away from the Ace. No dead hard, no nothing, just the down on the Zarina, and looks like the Wraith will continue chase with the Ace, leaving 1 survivor on the ground. Ace, though, making some pretty decent distance here, but going to a tile without a pallet and a Bamboozle in hand, not the greatest place to be, unless someone else comes in for a body block, which I don't think they will. This will be the Ace's final chase, and they'll be sent back to the campfire via the Entity. Overall, really good showing there by the survivors. Deadlock doing a huge amount of work, though, not to mention the Scourge Hook and resonances that we have seen thus far. Serena back up off the ground, and that is now 5 hooks in. 4 more hooks, and Cynic will walk away victorious. And they are looking around now and trying to identify where these survivors might be. So far, no sign of the injured Zarina, but going up onto the hill for a better view. And looks like Wraith, unable to find them, will instead take a kick to the gen, but no, just gonna leave it as is. Really determined to find them. And looks like they're just gonna guard this 3-gen. Honestly, I didn't realize it until just now as I looked at the 4th gen off in the distance over towards main. The Wraith has a bit of a 3-gen going for them. So I imagine the Wraith just incentivized to kind of hang around these gens and not really give too much pressure, but these survivors hanging back, it looks like. Zarina with the sprint burst in hand will make some distance here. A bamboozle coming into play for the Wraith. Going to be slowing things down just a little bit, and Zarina going to be taking the hit and making their way towards the 3-gen, which is probably the worst thing that they can do. And looks like they will end up dropping the pallet. There's the drop and the hit. Very well done, and looks like they're going to try and drag them over to the hook up here. Potentially a Scourge Hook. Is Zarina the last Scourge Hook token? They are not, just wanting to get them into the 3-gen. Wraith seeing the Nancy back here as well. There's the 4th generator. The gen here that the Nancy is working on, the most progressed gen, on top of which that is huge, as that is not a lot of progression in this 3-gen. That is 6 hooks in as well. And if Nancy's fresh, hold up, who's the fresh survivor? Wraith confused how that hit the bags instead of the Nancy, but if Nancy's fresh, that would mean Wraith guarantees a victory here. Just camp her to death, even if there are 1-for-1 trades. I think that still will be enough in order to secure it. Let's see if that is the case, and sure enough, she is fresh. We see the Zarina there, but Wraith gonna be walking away, surprisingly, instead going for the healthy Nia here, who will gain some distance and a firecracker to try and make some space between her and the Wraith, but instead will take the hit, making their way towards main. That is now 7 hooks, 2 hooks away. Nancy has 2 hooks to give. Another survivor has 2 hooks to give. I want to say Nia is on death hook, so out of all the survivors the Wraith wants to find, Nia is the last one. Speaking of, though, that there is the Zarina here at Meat Tree, no pallet in sight, and looks like Wraith going to be trying to body block them over to the LT wall, but another auto aim miss as Rita will make it to the L wall, and that is going to result in a down. So really well played there by the Wraith, committing to the Zarina. No decisive strike, no nothing. And at this point in time, that is Zarina sent back to the campfire via the entity. And they just need 1 more hook. It is at this point, at 5 gens completed, a tie game, but only if survivors escape. At this point, 1 more hook will secure victory for Cynic in a very, very close match, as Nia will end up vaulting this window, but with no resources in sight, that there will be the down on the Nia and victory for Cynic, but a dead hard. Funny enough, the miss from the Wraith working out to their advantage as they get the down, but V1 not satisfied with that result, and that alone will find the Nancy here at Shack and will end up going for the 4K. No pallet, no nothing, no vault, no dead hard to boot. That there will be the 4K for the Wraith and Cynic. Very well played, and congratulations to Cynic walking away victorious in the finals of Charities of the Fog, our first charity tournament here on Champions of the Fog. It was an absolute blast, to say the least. We'll be doing this again in the future, though not until we get some feedback from you guys and see what improvements we can make. That being said, it would be much appreciated if you do provide that to us over in our Discord channel. We'll be setting up a place for you guys to do that. We already have some things that we're going to change. Wraith is going to be moved from the base pool. We're keeping NA and EU together for the charity tournament at least, and maybe changing up how you guys randomize the maps and killers, making it more of a collective effort. For every $5 we'll hit a randomization of the map, every 25 we'll do the killer. Just make it more collective.